I recently got into a discussion on moral duty, which is, the general question was basically, does the average human have a obligation to, society and to sort of every other man? Does the every man have an obligation morally to the every man, basically? Which is the roundabout way of saying it. And a big sort of key aspect in that question was in our society. So in our society, is this an aspect that we must appeal to? And I am definitely a big supporter of the fact that the conscious human being has a moral obligation. The human has such an innate obligation, a duty within them, but my big stickler is within our society. I think we do have this obligation, but it's not enactable within society and this society's values, because we can't be morally we can't fulfill our moral obligations with these preset values blockading us and restricting us. Our actions have to be outside the values of power, status, money, what the average RAC society expectation is. When we appease them as a moral obligation, which is not, we only further whatever negativity we're trying to heal by this moral duty. You might say it's your moral duty to help the less fortunate, help the poor, so you pay to charity. But the fact that you are paying to charity and giving a commodity, a financial capital to this charity is furthering the ideal of our society. And I'm not saying don't give money to charity. What I'm saying is that's not how the moral obligation is meant to be fulfilled. It's a morally good thing, yes, but it's not our moral obligation as conscious beings, because we are furthering this barrier between rich and poor. We're heightening the importance and the status of money, which then pushes further the downtrodden and the unfortunate. If we still have money, if we still have this appeasement to cash, we can't turn the poor into the rich, and we can't turn the rich into the poor. We can't equate each other. We can't fulfill our moral duty, because every man cannot be equal. And when our moral duty falls into a society with these values, we are meant to fulfill it by keeping everyone equal, by fulfilling equality, by keeping everything on a level playing field, by constantly sort of treading water with every human, not instilling values that further the chasm between certain groups of people, that make the reasons we are trying to fulfill our moral duty more severe. By giving money, by appeasing the capital system, by, doing one thing that makes the actual problem bigger. Our duty is not to be a part of the problem. Our duty is to fix the problem. But we have tricked ourselves into thinking these things we do, which actually make us a part of the problem and expand the issue and deepen its hold on society as a whole, are solutions, which they're not. They're quick fixes that fix nothing. They are the same type of solution that suicide is to mental illness. They don't compete, yet we think, because we've been tricked into thinking they do. It's a trap meant to make us think it is good to fulfill these systems. There are much better ways to help the homeless than giving through a charity. There are much better ways to fulfill morality than going through a status figure. There are much better ways of appeasing morality than writing to a person of power to sort it out. When we go through these routes that tick all the boxes in all society's values and makes us think this is the only way, that is damaging to the idea not only of morality, but to the idea of what we're trying to fix, to the actual problem, to the solution, because the problem becomes greater. We become part of the problem rather than trying to fix it ourselves through every man without these false tricked upon us ideals, because they are largely the problem. It's hugely convoluted and it makes no sense, and it doesn't sound like it should work in practice, but it's just the way things are. And when we keep appeasing these false values, we push them deeper into our precept belief. It's not how we're supposed to solve things. That is not our moral duty. Our moral duty is to still fulfill morality whilst rejecting these false values, basically.